In at number 10, we have Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Former bodyguard of Brad and Angelina, Mark Billingham, said in an interview with a UK tabloid, I quote, "Once it was Angie's birthday and they were all sitting in an Audi Q7. He hadn't been working with them long and suddenly Brad has the doors locked and farted, so they couldn't get out." That's weird. At least make sure the doors are unlocked before you rip one. Damn. Like, was that like on purpose? I'm confused. I have questions. I have a lot of questions about this part. Mark went on to say that Brad and Angelina were pretty naive when it came to their personal security. He said, "What surprised me was their low level of common sense. I found it crazy when they would ask me questions like, how do I go down to that bar? And what do I need to get there?" Does being a celebrity just mean they like need advice on how to wipe their ass? Well, Brad and Angelina, you walk. You do this thing, you lift up your feet and you walk. Have you ever heard of it? Probably not. Probably get driven around in an Audi Q7 everywhere you go. Mark eventually quit after 18 months because the job was too high pressure. In at number 9, we have Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber's former bodyguard, Mosh Benabu, I hope I'm saying that correctly, filed a complaint against him in LA after Bieber physically assaulted him. He claimed that Justin went on a tirade against him that was triggered by what Justin perceived as an attempt to keep one member of Bieber's entourage physically away from Justin Bieber. Bieber then punched Benabu in the chest and upper body. But rather than fight back, he did nothing. Justin's former bodyguard also sued Justin for unpaid overtime, vacation wages, expenses, and failure to pay wages due immediately on termination. At number 8 on our list, we got Mr. Eminem. Byron Williams wrote a memoir in 2000 called Shady Business: Life as Eminem's Bodyguard in an Industry of Paper Gangsters. Williams said that the book documented various moments about his time working for Eminem, including a scary encounter with Suge Knight, who allegedly sent henchmen to threaten Eminem. He said in a 2016 interview with Vibe, "When I wrote the book, it was never my intention to attack Eminem, but we had a falling out financially and I decided to write the book to recoup some of the money that I lost." AV Club said about the book that it was a pathetic portrayal of Eminem as an irresponsible, deeply unhappy man-child who relies on his bodyguard slash self-styled mentor slash babysitter slash conscience slash better half slash life coach for everything. What a review. The two are still reportedly not on good terms. During their last interaction, they both had their hands on their weapons. At number 7, we have Britney Spears. I feel like she's on every single celebrity expos list that I've ever done. I swear, it's not on purpose, there's only so many celebrity bodyguard stories, so. Fernando Flores was Britney Spears' former bodyguard, and back in 2010 he filed a lawsuit against her, where he claimed that she sexually harassed him and made unwanted advances. Like, I get that it's nice to feel protected and stuff, but it's still harassment in the workplace to make passes at your bodyguard. Flores said that Britney exposed herself quite a few times. Now, Britney alleged that she never did any of this and her former bodyguard was only trying to take advantage of her to make a name for himself, or so she says. They settled out of court 2 years later for an undisclosed amount. At number 6, we have Kanye West. Steve Stanulis is an ex-NYPD officer who's protected celebrities like Leonardo DiCaprio, and he was also the bodyguard of Kanye West and Kim Kardashian. But he was fired back in 2016 because Kanye accused him of making a move on Kim. Stanulis told the Daily Mail that he never made a move on Kim, and Kanye needs to quote, "chill the f*** out." I mean, that's fair. He does need to chill the f*** out. Stanulis didn't really have that many good things to say about Kanye, who was allegedly particularly difficult to work for. He described the entire experience as being forgettable, traumatic, not worth it, and disappointed. Stanulis said Kanye would have temper tantrums all the time, and he would seldom offer his staff a glass of water. Stanulis also said that Kanye wouldn't let him wear anything other than black because, quote, patterns distract him. In at number 5, Elton John. Yet another bodyguard on this list who claims the star they protected sexually harassed them. Back in 2016, Jeffrey Wenninger sued Elton John for sexually harassing him while he worked for him. According to the lawsuit, between 2002 and 2014, Elton John, quote, inappropriately touched Jeffrey on multiple occasions and made sexually suggestive comments. Sexually suggestive comments like, "get your todger out" and "say hello to Uncle Elton." You said it exactly like that, okay? My British accent is impeccable. Wenninger alleges that the incidents got more frequent and more intense after 2010. Elton of course denied all of this and the case ended up being dismissed. Wenninger received no financial compensation or settlement. In at number 4, we have Morrissey. Frontman of the Smiths, Morrissey was sued by his former bodyguard Bradley Stain, who claimed that Morrissey and his manager asked him to harm a man who ran a Morrissey fan website, morrissey-solo.com. The guy that ran the website was a guy named David Singh, and Morrissey gave Stain his address and wanted him to hurt hurt him. When Stain refused, he was fired. Stain sought over £155,000 in compensation, damages, and legal costs. Morrissey denied all of this and called it a lie. He said in a statement, "The very idea that I would ask a complete stranger to physically attack David Sang surely cannot register with any sane person as being likely." He went on, "As mildly irritating as David Sang may be, he is not someone who troubles me enough to even bother with." In at number 3 we've got David Bowie. I love me some David Bowie, but being a rock star means you probably got a few secrets when it comes to romantic relationships. Or encounters. According to former Bowie bodyguard Stuart George, who worked for him for almost 14 years, he once had to guard the door while David Bowie had a menage a trois with Mick Jagger from the Rolling Stones and a famous British female singer that he did not disclose. This was back in the 1970s, so like, people were pretty like free-spirited and like bisexual. Doesn't really surprise me a lot. They wanted to experiment, guys. The threesome supposedly happened in a walk-in closet filled with Bowie's costumes, and that's when Bowie told his bodyguard to wait outside and make sure they weren't interrupted. I wonder if they like wore all the costumes. I have such a funny image in my head. In at number 2 we got Elvis. 3 of Elvis's former bodyguards worked together to write a book about the King of Rock, called Elvis: What Happened. Sonny West, David Helber, and Red West claim various things in the book. Elvis, quote, charmed a beautiful young fan into joining him on a drug binge for 2 that almost killed her. He also allegedly took a group of friends on a 3 a.m. visit to a mortuary to look at corpses and talk about embalming. Cause that's not weird. Elvis also admitted to one of these former bodyguards that he sent out a hit on a man that he felt stole his wife. The book, Elvis: What Happened, ended up being published 4 days before Elvis died in 1977. So that's awkward. And at number 1 on our list, Michael Jackson. Now this one was crazy, maybe you remember it. Back in 2010, Michael Jackson's former bodyguard Matt Fiddes claimed that he was the real father of Michael Jackson's son Blanket. Fiddes said he donated sperm to Michael back in 2001 because Michael wanted to have an athletic child. Matt was a martial arts expert. He said to the Daily Mail, "Jackson said he wanted a fit, athletic son. He offered me £500,000 but I said no. I was already a multimillionaire and I didn't need the money or want to take his." In 2009, a mutual friend saw a picture of Blanket in a magazine and rang me straight away, and he said, "What have you done? You've donated sperm to Michael." He saw the likeness straight away. So just so you know, to date, there's been no test to prove that Fiddes is Blanket's biological father. But that wasn't all Matt Fiddes had to say about Michael Jackson. He made further claims in 2012 that Jackson had a secret affair with Whitney Houston that Jackson never got over. He also said that Michael Jackson was unable to have children because of his excessive drug use. He was also anorexic, and Jackson was convinced he would be assassinated. In at number 10 we have Charlize Theron. Charlize Theron is known to be one of the most difficult actresses to work with in Hollywood, but I never knew how difficult until I read what her housekeepers had to say about her. Charlize reportedly wants minimal contact with her staff. She won't let them speak to her or make eye contact with her. So how does she tell them what she wants done if she doesn't want to talk to them? Notes. She leaves notes around the house and her staff leave notes in response for her to read. Maybe that's a good thing. I don't know if I would want to talk to someone like that either. And at number 9, Britney Spears. Back in 2010, Britney Spears' housekeeper revealed that there's leftovers all over her room. Britney stores half-eaten burgers under her bed and between her sheets. Cookies in her couch were found and fries were found under her mattress. But like, why though? Why? Why under the bed? Does she plan to eat it later? She's like burying it like a squirrel? I'm confused. There's dust bunnies and monsters under the bed. Maybe Britney loves to eat a burger every now and again and she feels guilty about eating the whole thing, so she like hides it? Who knows? In at 8 we have Jennifer Lopez. J-Lo has been dubbed Pay-Lo by her housekeepers because she reportedly pays half of the amount other celebrities in her area pay. And this claim is actually backed up by a lawsuit where Mark Anthony and Jennifer Lopez's former housekeeper claimed she was owed $500,000 in back wages. She claimed she worked every single day of the week, up to 80 hours, and did not receive overtime. Her employment was terminated in 2017. They settled out of court, but no one knows for how much. In at number 7 we have Mr. George Clooney. I love me some George Clooney. Ooh, he cute. He's definitely high up on the list of sexiest men in Hollywood for me. But did you know that George Clooney is a bit of a prankster, and unfortunately his housekeeper was on the receiving end of one of his disgusting pranks. I can't even believe I'm about to tell you about this, but anyways. Okay, so he was shooting a TV show in Italy and he got a fresh new diaper and he put some Nutella in it, and then he threw it in the trash can. He came back an hour later and the Italian housekeeper was there. He reportedly said, Amal wants to know if Alexander did poo-poo or pee-pee. He opened up the trash, got the diaper he'd left there earlier, rubbed it in his face, and ate it. The housekeeper screamed and ran out of the room, probably saying, Mamma mia. He also reportedly burps and farts openly and loudly in front of his staff. At number 6 we have Taylor Swift. Okay, so you probably already knew this already, but Taylor Swift is cat crazy. Like literally cat crazy. In addition to being completely in love with her cats, Olivia Benson and Meredith Grey, her house is filled with photos of her cats, paintings of her cats, cats memorabilia, and her wardrobe of clothes that she wears at home is just like covered in cats. They say that women who keep a lot of cats and cat stuff around are born to be spinsters. I guess we'll see. Oh yeah, and she played a cat. Taylor also gets her staff to leave food out for strays every day. She loves cats. I don't trust cats. In at number 5 we have Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise reportedly likes his house to be run like a luxury hotel. He wants his sheets changed every single day so that he only sleeps on fresh ones. That's fair. I like fresh sheets. I like to smell them. Tom is obsessed with cleanliness and organization. This rumor was backed up by director Doug Lamont, who lived with Tom during the filming of American Made. Tom created a chore chart to make sure everyone did their part. I hate roommates that do that. Just clean it! Oh my god. You didn't fill in your chore chart. I see here that you're missing a couple things. There was also a communal bathroom that Tom controlled and you had to aim properly. No pee stains allowed. Tom is a very private person, even with people who are closest to him. There are rooms in his mansion that no one is allowed to enter, including his now ex-wife Katie Holmes. I mean, she was not allowed when they were together, that's what I mean. Like obviously she's his ex-wife, so she's not allowed in his house, but like, you know, you get it, it's fine. At number 4 we have Jessica Simpson. Okay, so little birdie told me that Jessica Simpson has rank breath because she only brushes her teeth 3 times a week. Every other time in between she wipes her teeth with a rag or a piece of cloth. I'm so grossed out, like this is so gross. So like, I can just picture like, I can't go longer than a day without brushing my teeth, and that's like if I really am just so busy and I didn't have time. Don't you find that your teeth get like fuzzy from all the food you've eaten? I hate that feeling. At least chew some gum, Jessica. God. Jessica actually admitted to this rumor on the Ellen show, and she said she doesn't like it when her teeth feel slippery. At number 3 we have Miley Cyrus. It's no secret that Miley loves animals. She takes in a lot of animals and definitely sets a good example to many people who should be adopting animals from shelters. She has 7 dogs, 2 pigs, 2 horses, and 3 cats. 15 pets in total. Essentially, Miley's house is like a petting zoo. The problem is, because Miley is extremely busy being famous and jet setting across the world, she doesn't have time to potty train her pets, which means her pets pee-pee and poo-poo all over the place. According to her housekeeper, it is not fun to clean up. Yeah, no pun intended. At number 2 we have Alicia Silverstone. There was a rumor, which is now confirmed, that Alicia Silverstone is a fan of kiss feeding. And if you don't know what kiss feeding is, it's where you feed your children the way birds feed their chicks. Out of your own mouth. There's even a video of Alicia Silverstone doing this on YouTube. There are a couple reasons why some parents do this. It's supposed to help with immunity. This is also how many people feed their babies where there isn't baby food available. You chew it up so the food isn't solid and your baby doesn't choke on it. But Alicia Silverstone lives a relatively privileged life, which means she probably lives somewhere where they have Gerber at a supermarket. Just saying. Here you go, baby. At number 1 we have Kesha. Kesha has got some pretty disturbing habits, including a habit that she claims helps her lose weight and get into shape. Former staff members have revealed that she drank her own bodily fluids so she could get into shape for her Die Young music video. Kesha said she heard about it from a friend. Honestly, get rid of that friend, Kesha. They are not your friend. They told you drinking pee would get you into shape. That is not a friend! Of course, not only is this disgusting, it's incorrect and will make you sick, so she had to be corrected. Kesha actually drank her own urine on TV, on the MTV special Kesha My Crazy Beautiful Life. She reportedly stopped drinking her own urine after she was advised against it. Well, that's good. I'm happy for you, Kesha. Amber Heard's ex-assistant Kay James has spoken out in a legal deposition gearing up to Johnny Depp's $50 million defamation lawsuit against Amber Heard. The short version is she had a lot of bad things to say about Amber and a lot of nice things to say about Johnny. With the defamation lawsuit only a few short months away, Amber Heard and Johnny Depp's legal teams have been gathering statements and testimony from the people who knew both parties well during their marriage. One of the people who's gone on the record to expose Amber Heard was her former assistant. Kate James was Amber Heard's personal assistant between 2012 and 2015. She spent a lot of time with Amber during that time period. oftentimes 7 days a week in intimate settings. Kate James eventually quit because Amber reportedly bullied her so severely that she was emaciated with stress and, quote, permanently mentally scarred. The court heard that Amber Heard verbally and mentally abused her after she went on alcohol and drug binges, and she describes her time working with her as a nightmare from which she has not recovered. She also said in the deposition that Johnny Depp was calm, thoughtful, and he offered to entertain her son by playing the guitar. She didn't come across him often because Amber Heard wouldn't let people get close to him, but when Kate was around Johnny, he was shy and calm. He also reportedly never used violence. Kate's first impression of Johnny Depp was as follows. Amber was already dating Johnny when I started working for her. At first, Amber didn't tell me who Johnny was and would speak about him in disparaging terms. She would say that she was dating this old man and such like. She then disclosed that it was Johnny Depp, and I met him shortly after that. My first impression of him was how softly spoken and peaceful he was, almost a bit shy. He was very pleasant and courteous upon meeting me. During the several-year period she worked for Amber, Kate says she never saw evidence that Amber was being abused. Instead, she saw evidence of Amber's abusive behavior toward others, mainly herself. She wrote in the deposition, Amber was regularly verbally and mentally abusive and would often scream at her over the smallest things. She would fly into blind rages where no one could reason with her. Even if I was trying to offer her an explanation, I didn't think that she could hear me as she was so angry. Speaking about Amber's drug binges, her drugs of choice were reportedly mushrooms and MDMA, and while she was intoxicated, Amber would send angry messages to Kate James. When she woke up in the morning, Kate saw what she saw was a barrage of incoherent abuse sent to her by Amber between the hours of 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. Amber would delete all the evidence of the text from the iCloud account. Then by 2015, Kate had had enough of the abuse, and 2015 was the same year that Amber and Johnny Depp got married. A spokesperson for Amber Heard has responded to Kate James's deposition and said, I quote, "This is a statement from a disgruntled former employee who was fired for poor performance and clearly has an agenda and an axe to grind. These ridiculous allegations have no basis in fact and no relevance to these proceedings." There's a transcript that's going viral on Twitter made by Johnny Depp's employee Tara Roberts, who alleges she personally witnessed Amber Heard verbally and visibly attacking Johnny Depp while at his private island in the Bahamas. Roberts came forward as a supportive witness in Johnny's $50 million lawsuit against his ex-wife Amber Heard. In a legal deposition, she accused Amber Heard of attacking Johnny Depp violently while they were married back in 2015. She also says she personally witnessed Amber Heard body shame Johnny Depp and call him fat. When was Johnny Depp ever fat? The court document stated, while I could not hear what caused the fight, Amber Heard repeatedly berated him with increasing ferocity. She was insulting him, calling him names, and in the middle of this onslaught, I heard her specifically say, "Your career is over. No one is going to hire you. You're washed up, fat, and you will die a lonely man." The rest of what she was screaming was incomprehensible. The next section, Tara Roberts talks about an encounter where she was forced to intervene. At some point, Johnny Depp tried to leave again as they were now in the parking lot. He repeatedly asked for the keys for the vehicle, which Amber Heard had taken out, refused to give back to him, and which we later found in the house. He was responding to her verbal attacks by saying, "Go away and just leave me alone." Amber's screaming and berating rose to a fever pitch, and Johnny continued to yell, "Go away and leave me alone." I asked Christy what to do, and she said I should keep an eye on the situation. As Amber's rage continued to escalate, I described the scene to Christy. She said I needed to intervene and I should go to Johnny's assistance. And lastly, this is the most important screen grab of this deposition. Roberts said I hung up and immediately ran to the parking lot. I saw Amber lunge at Johnny, claw-tugging and aggressively pulling him. He continued to stand there yelling at her to stop and leave him alone. When he stepped back to leave, her onslaught would start again. During this entire incident, I never saw Johnny hit Amber or push her back, nor did he physically react to the attacks. She would calm down and hug and apologize. Then he would say he needs to leave, and then it would start again. Finally, I stepped between them. She continued to reach for him, but maybe my presence stopped it. Tara Roberts has been employed by Johnny Depp since 2008. So she knows him pretty well, I would say, at this point. There are several other women who were close to Johnny Depp who have come forward to his defense. Winona Ryder, Vanessa Paradis, Lori Ann Allison said that they did not experience any abuse by him. His first wife, Lori Ann Allison, did not believe Amber Heard's claims and said that he never even raised his voice when they were together. She called him a soft person who is very kind to animals. Vanessa, his other ex-wife, wrote a letter to TMZ defending Johnny Depp and calling Amber Heard's claims outrageous. She described him as a sensitive and loving person. And lastly, Winona Winona Ryder, who was engaged to Johnny Depp for 3 years and his co-star, said that she never experienced any violent behavior from him, and said the allegations were shocking because she never saw him being violent toward anyone. She said to Time magazine, "I can only speak from my own experience, which was wildly different than what is being said. He was never that way toward me. Never abusive at all towards me. I only know him as a really good, loving, caring guy who is very, very protective to the people he loves." Unlike all of these accounts, Amber Heard's past is very different. She does have a domestic abuse past.